Hey, hello everyone, my name is Manuel and I'm back again with Excel this week. Today we're not going to be creating application from Excel, rather we're going to be creating a weekly sales report from Excel. So you're going to watch me do every step has to go on. If you haven't yet subscribed to our channel, I recommend or suggest I do that right now. So having said that, let's get into it. Okay, right before you is a weekly sales report template, and assuming that you work for a Agrassi company in the marketing department as a sales agent, and maybe based upon your hard work and efficiency, you are being promoted as a sales supervisor of that department. But then your job description is to track the day-to-day activities of all sales agents across the country and make a weekly sales report to the management. So how can you go about working it out in Microsoft Excel? Before taking it over to a blank sheet to create it from scratch, I want to review this entire template, how it works. Okay, let's get into our revision, then I can take it over to a blank worksheet where we'll create it from scratch. Okay, so to create our entire work, I'll walk you through 5 steps. The first step gonna be for the designing our work, and then the second step gonna be for formulas, working with formulas, and the third one gonna be using conditional formatting, and the fourth one gonna be protecting and unprotecting sheet, and the fifth step gonna be the last step gonna be setting up a print error, setting up print up, and that's all. So let's get started. Okay, before getting started with this work, I want to share with you two concepts. And the first one has to do with knowing what you can be doing in Excel, what work you want to do in Excel. And the second concept has to do with how you want it appearing in Excel. So before you can come into Excel to do work, you should already know in your mind what work you want to do in Excel. And again, the second one is that how you want it appearing on your spreadsheet in Excel. That's the two concepts you have to have in order to use Excel efficiently. Or else you're just gonna come into Excel thinking, oh, where will I start? Where will I start? Should I start from this point? Because why, you don't know what you want to do in Excel before coming into Excel, so you get lost. Okay, so you have to figure out what work you want to do in Excel. Whether you want to create a payroll, whether you want to create an invoice, or to track customers, customer tracking, or you know the type of work. But first you have to know the work that you want to do in Excel, and then how you want it appearing on your spreadsheet. I place a table right before here, right below here, and then up here I use like two cells here, and then over here I use like 3 columns rather. And this was my, and over here I have some titles. This was my design that I already had in my mind before coming into Excel. So you have to figure out what work you're doing in Excel and how you want it, what design, how you want it to appear in Excel. That's the two concepts you have to have before coming into Excel. Okay, now assuming that we already know what we want to do in Excel, which is our weekly sales report, now we can go about designing it, right? We already have that design in our mind, we already think of it before coming into Excel. So now we're going to apply it. I want to start by first increasing or extending the column of the width of each of these columns. As you can see, is the width is very small. I can do this manually if I just come in between any one of them and then stretch it out. This will increase the width, but I have to do this throughout. Okay, that will waste my time. So the way I want to do this is over to the home tab. I want to come over to the left, to the right, and then there's an option called format. I'll click that and it will bring me some list of options that I can select from. And yeah, I want to choose this one that says default width. By default, it will give you a width for each of these columns. But now I want to change this to make this about like 20, and then we'll hit OK. Now you can watch the column width. I hit OK. Now it expands. Okay, now we are done with that. I can come into B2 now to start designing our weekly sales report. Over to B2, I want to put something like report. I want to put report from, and then below that I want to put tool. Use the Control Shift up arrow and then Control B to make them both. And then over here you want to select this option to right justify them, and then you want to come over the size and then increase it by 12. Okay, and then jump skipping over one row. I want to come over to B5 and then put in something like product, and then below that I want to put something like product product price. Okay, Control Shift up arrow again, Control plus B to make them bold. And then what I want to do is to right justify them, and then maybe I can increase the size to like 12 again. Alright, now I'm done. I can grab these two cells here, C2 to C3, and then I want to border it. So coming over here, I want to border all around that, and then I'm good. And then just select these two, come over here to the brush, hit that, and coming over here to C5, and click there. It will copy the same format, the border format, into this range. Alright, now we're done. And then into F, since the F column, so I'll just do this manually. I can come here and just do that manually, increasing it by 20. Okay, now into F, maybe I can reduce the weight of this. Okay, now into F2, I want to put something like sales agent, and then into G2, I want to put in a sales pair agent, and then into H, I want to put something like a region, so I can go region of the branch. Okay, Control Shift plus the left arrow, gonna select everything, and Control B, gonna make them bold, and I want to align it to the top and to the middle. And then I want to paint the field, that interior color, something like a light gray, something, okay, something like that. And then what I want to do is to increase the size to something 13. Alright, I think we are good. And then right below that, I want to put in some sales agent, so I'll go Roden, and then below I'll go Mary, and then I'll go James. Alright, now I'm good with that. And then also I want to assign them a branch. Let's say Roden is from our Painesville, so I'll go in Painesville. And then Mary is from our Broadway. It's from our Broadway branch, and then maybe Jim is from our Douala branch. Okay, now once I'm done with the sales agent and the branches, I can select the very top there, hit Control Ashtray, it will select everything, and then I'm going with the border. Perfect. And next thing I want to do is in the D column, I want to select D8, and then just dragging it over. I want to drag it over to F8, and then I want to match and center right here, and then I want to put in a text, say weekly. I will go weekly sales report. I'll just go report. Okay, hit enter or Control plus enter, and then I want to give you a font. To the font here, I want to come over here, and I want to give you a font style of Goddess style right there. And then I want to increase the size to something 13, and I'm good with that. And then right below this, I want to select D9 through F9, and I want to match and center again. And then I can put some text there, like let's go with this one, as of setting date. At that point is there, just for example, as of setting date to let's go setting date. Okay, Control enter, and then I want to make it bold, and maybe on the top, and then I want to increase the size to like 12. Okay, this is gonna be based on formula anyway. It's gonna be based on formula. So, and then next thing I want to do into B11, I want to select it and then tap something like, let's say the date. This is gonna be the date. Sorry, the date. So I'm going with date, and yeah, I will put in sales. I'll put in sales agent, and yeah, I will put in that region, or I can say branch. And then over here I want to put in something like, let's say product, and yeah, I want to put in the quantity, and yeah, I want to put the price, and yeah, I want to put the total. I'm going to total here, total amount. Alright, Control Shift left arrow to select everything, and then I want to make them bold. I want to place them in the center, and then at the top, and then I want to increase the size to something 15. Alright, perfect. And then we are good. And then maybe the color, the interior color, I want to change that as well, so I can go with this one. And then the text color, I want to make them white. Alright, something like that. I think we are good. And maybe I can expand the row height, something like that. And then I want border, so I'll go over to the launch button. Yeah, I'll click this launch button right there, or you can hit Control+1, It will take you there, and then I want a border, so I come to the section of border, and then down I want to select the color, maybe this gray, and I will choose this line, and then I want it on the outside and then in the inside. Hit OK. Okay, now go with that, and then next thing I want to do now, maybe I can like come over to the view tab and then remove the gray lines so that our work flows perfect. Alright, now we're good, and then I want to select, maybe I can zoom out a bit, come here, and then I want to zoom all to like, I'll go with 85, something like that, hit OK. Alright, something like that. And then from this range, from D8, I want to select our table range, right? From B12 to H29, something like that, H29, I want to select it. And maybe I can put a border there for now. Go to the home, I will select this launch button, come to border. I can use the same border color, and then I just want it around, and then hit OK. Okay, we have our table there, and then next thing I want to do, yeah, into G, the G31, I want to post some information there. Let's say I want to put in the total product, sold, and below I want to put in total sales amount. Okay, total sales amount. Then Control Shift up arrow, and then I want to border. I want to increase the size. So I want to increase the size to something like 12. And then not just that, I want to make them bold. And then the color, the interior color, I want to change that to something like this. Our same color we use there. And then I want to make that text color white. Okay, perfect like that. And then maybe I can right justify them. I think we are good. We are good with this. And then next thing I want to do, right after them, I want to select the two columns here, the two cells from H31 to H32. Selecting that. I want to change their fill color to something yellow, and then I want to border it as well. And then maybe the size, I want to increase that to something 12, and then I think I'm good with that. Alright, so now we are done with our first step, which is the designing aspect. We are done with it. We have weekly sales report at upsetting date. This is a test for maybe in our step 2, this will be a date, and then we are done. But our first step now is perfectly done correctly, and now you see everything looks perfect. This is our first step, which is the designing of how we want our weekly sales report to look. Okay, let's move over to our step 2. Okay, so with this second step, it's gonna be based on formulas. Okay, so we're gonna be using formula to this cell. We're gonna be using formula to these 3 cells, and in our table we're gonna be using formulas for this, and then formula for these 2 columns, and then these 2 cells below we're going to be using formula. These are the cells that we're going to be using formula throughout for the second step of our weekly sales report template creation. Okay, now let's get started. So I want to start by just inserting a date here. I'll just put a date in there. Maybe I'll put January 1, 2023, and hit Control Enter. Okay, now, but I don't like this style of date, so I can change it. But first, I need to increase the size to something 12. Okay, and then I want to left justify them, and then indent to the right just one step, just to give a little brief space. And then I want to format this date different. So what I will do, I will come over to the launch button here. I'll click this, and then over to date, I will by default choose English Liberia. Well, I want to go with English US, and then I will come down to this format. I want the style of date, so I will select this and hit OK. And now I will put that same style, apply that style to our first date here. Okay, this is not a formula, this is just a date. We're not going to be using formula with this cell. The cell below is where we're going to be using formulas. Okay, now to get started with our first formula, which is this. This is just the beginning of the week we are starting our business, and this will be the end of the week. So how can we generate the end of the week when we are at the beginning of the week? How can we go about doing this? So again, I want to use formulas to do this. So I can come over here to this cell, this particular cell, and then I will hit equals. I want to say equal this cell, the beginning of the week. I will click it, and then I will increment it by 5. Add 5 to 1, which is the 1st of January. If I take this cell and add 5 to it, it will give me the 6th 6 days, right? It will give me the 6th of January. So the 1st of January, I 5 to 8, it will give you the 6th of January. Again, I'm incrementing that of 5, meaning adding 5 to 8, and then hit enter. And then now you see that it gave me the 6th of January. But I want to apply the same style here, the same format. So I will click in the cell, turn over to the brush here, click that brush, and just click in the cell, and we apply the same format. Alright, now we are done with our first formula, but not 100% done yet, because what if there's no date over here? What if there's no date? So let me go and remove that date, and now you can see, because I was referring to days, and now this is empty, it will put a huge date here, which is the 5th January 1900. I don't want anything showing here if this cell is empty. So what I will do is I will put a condition over to the formula. I want to modify this formula. I want to update that formula. So I'll click right before C2 there, and then I'll put a condition if I'm using if C2. What is C2? C2 is the beginning of the week, this cell right below above this, and then I'll say if C2 equals empty, command, then I want our end of week cell to be empty, so I'm putting double quote there, hit command. Else I want to take C2 value, the date here, and then I want to increment it by 5. Right after that, I can hit the parenthesis and hit enter. Now you see that because C2, which is the beginning of the week, is empty, so the end of the week is also empty. If I come back and put in the date here or date here, then you see that it generates the end of that week, which is 6 working days of the week. Alright, now we're good with our first formulas. Now we have the first to the 6th, which is just 1 working week. Now we can come over to the next formula, and the next formula is going to be in this cell. So what I will do is I will click in the cell, and then I will press equal. And what I want to do is that I want to put in a text in this formula. And the way we go about writing text in formula is to use double quote after the equal sign. I'm using double quote, and then I'll put hats up, and then I'll put a column, space, and then I'll hit double quote. In this way, Excel knows that within this formula, I'm putting hats off in a column. So if I hit enter, this is how it will look. But then I don't want to look the days. I want to take hats off this 1st of January. I want to place it right after this, and then I want to put a dash and then put the 6th of January, this date. I want to place it there. So back into this cell, I want to update this formula. Right after that double quotes, I want to use and. And the way we jump characters in a formula is to use and symbol. Now we put that and there. I want to join it with this and the first date, which is January 1. I'll click that and then hit enter. I click a date, right? I refer to a date here, but why it's giving me a number. So if I click in this date I referred to just now, and you can see here is formatted as date. But if I come over to know the original format of this, if I come over to general, that means no specific format. And you can see that these two numbers correspond, right? So 44927, it just means into a date, if format it has date, it will give you January 1. So 44927 is January 1, 2023. So if I come back here and format this has date, and format it has date, and then maybe I'll come to our US, I'll say format. If I just format that number has date, you can see that it gives me the 1st of January 2023. So all I need to do that, I need to format this number as well as date. Normally in Excel, when you place a date, Excel will not see that date has date, it will see it as number. You gotta like format it the way you want it to be. By default, Excel gave every cell here a general format. So you can change it to be a number, a currency, or something, a date, and time, percentage, fraction, whatever. Well, Excel look at it as a general format. So now Excel is looking at this date as a number. So I just need to format it. I'll click back in the cell, and right before C2 there and the end, I'll place the cursor right there, and then I'll put in the word text. I want to use a function text. And then right after C2, I want to put a comma, and then I want to give it a format, the way I want to format that date. And I will use double quotes. I'll place month slash day slash y, and then double quote again, and then I want to close that parenthesis. I will hit enter. Now you can see that these 2 days correspond. 1st of January, and here you can see the 1st of January. Okay, now we are done with our formatting here. But then I want to put a dash and put the second date, which is the end of our business week. From the 1st to 6th, right? I want to put a dash and then place the date, this end of the week date right there. So I'll click back into this formula cells, and I want to update it. I will just put the cursor right after the parenthesis there, and then I will hit end because I'm joining characters. Like I said, if you are joining characters into a formula, use end. This sample, this simple here, and then after that I will use double quote. I'll use space, I'll use dash, and I'll use space again, and then double quote. If I hit enter, now you see a place a dash there. A place a dash. Okay, now I place the dash. I want to put this date, this particular date, I want to place it right here after this dash. Now I'm back into the cell. I want to update this formula. I'll go with n again because I want to join characters again. I want to join this to our formula. So I use n, and then I will click this cell. I'll click this particular cell and hit enter. Now again, SLC that date has number, so I just need to follow the same step I used to format this date. I'll just use the same step. Okay, clicking into it, right before C3 and in between the end sample and then C3, I'll place the cursor right there and then I'll type in the word text. I'm using the text function, and then right after C3 I'll use comma, and then I want to give a format in a double quote. I'll use modnoun slash day slash yeah. Okay, and then I want to use a double quote and parentheses. Hit enter. Now you can see that 1st to the 6th, 1st January to 6th of January. You can see here on 1st of January to 6th of January. Taking the date, placing the year, putting a dash, taking the date, placing the year. So now we are good with that, but not 100% done it. So what if there's no date? What if we have not put the beginning of our working day? There's no date. You see what's gonna happen? You're gonna play something like this, and I don't want this. If this is empty, if there's no date within this field, the beginning of the week, if you have not entered a date, then I want to put a current day into this formula. I want a current day showing up here. I don't need this kind of stuff. So I'll click into the cell. I just need to make an update to it, and right before text and between the end and the text, I will put in a function called if, because I want to give a condition. I want to say if, and then I will select this cell, this particular cell. If this cell C2 equals empty, comma, then I want to put today within this. So I'll put in the function today. Hit tab, close that parenthesis, hit comma, and at the end, I want to click there and then put a parenthesis there and hit enter. This will give me today's date. Now this is 45080. If I put this number into a separate cell here, let's say this is 45080. Okay. If I just place that number right in a separate cell here, and then if I come down to my time on my computer here, you can see that it gave me a date of June 3rd, right? The 3rd of June, 2023. But then I put into this date here, and it gave me number, and it gave me this number, right? So let me format this number as date, because now it's in the general format. So I want to format this as date. So I'll come here to more number, and then I'll come date, and then I'll select, I'll see format this one. Okay. Let me expand this column so you see. Okay, this is the 3rd of June 2023. So if I come back here, you see the 3rd of June 2023. So that means 45080 is the 3rd of June 2023. So what I need to do is just format this as date. That's all I need to do. Format this number as date. Click back into that cell. All I need to do is today's function that gave me this number. So I need to format right before today. I'll place a cursor there, and then I'll use something like text for a text function. Hit tab, and then I want right after the comma. Right after the comma there, I'll place the cursor there, and then I want to give you a format. So I'll hit double quotes, mom/day/yy. Double quote again, close the parenthesis, and then we'll hit enter. Let me check that. Okay, I put a star here. It shouldn't be star, so I'll remove that. Okay, removing that. Hit OK. Okay, now you see that it gives me the same data. So 45080, it means the 3rd of June 2023. So now you can see that June 3rd, June 3, 2023. That's what I want. But now this gave me just a single day, right? So I need to put a dash here. Since that we use first, I need to put a dash here, and then I need to put the same date and then increment it by 5 to give me the 6th day. It's 1 week, 1 business week. So again, clicking back into this formula, I want to come somewhere right after the parenthesis here, the format we just did, right after the parenthesis. I want to put something like N. I want to join character, and character I want to join is a dash, double quote, space, hitting the dash, space, double quote, and then all I need to do is hit enter. Now you see the dash added. But I want to take the same date and increment it by 5 to give me the 6 days away from it, right? So clicking back, right after this dash and that double quote, I'll place the cursor right there, and then I want to put in, I want to join something in. I want to use today again, today function, close that parenthesis, hit enter. Again, it gives me the same number, so I just format that today function. Clicking back, this today function right before it, between the and symbol and the days function, I'll place the cursor right between that, and then I'll use text to format that text. And then right after the today's function, and after that comma, I'll place the cursor right there, and then give you a format. Double quotes, I want to use mm/dd/yyyyy. Double quote, close a parenthesis, hit comma, and hit enter. Now it gives me the same day, but I need to increment this day, right? So this gives me the 3rd of June, and yeah, I can see to the 3rd of June. I don't want that. I need to increment this day by 5. Click back into the formula, and this is the day I want to format. I need to increment this, the day. We have the first day function, and this is the second day function that I need to increment. So right after the parenthesis, I'm placing the cursor right there and hitting +5, incrementing it by 5, hitting OK. Now you can see that from the 3rd of June to the 8th of June, which is like 6 days, 6 business days, okay? It comes from the 3rd of June to the 8th of June and give you the 6 days. Okay, now I can delete this one just for example, yeah? Okay, now we are done with our formula, and you can see how our formula lies from simple to complex. Our formula is now complex. But what if I put a date here now? Let's go with January 1, 2023. Hit Control Enter. This will change that June 3rd to June 8th to this one. 1st January to 6th January. You can see here, January 1 to January 2. But if there's no date, they will put today's date and give it a 1 week 6 day increment to give us 6 days. Okay, now we get the second formula done. We get our first formula done, and now have our second formula here that is done. Alright, now let's move forward to our table. And the next formula is going to be based on our dates in our table. So here, I'll click here. Once I enter a date here, I want to show you, I want the start of the day to show up at the beginning of our date column, right? So if I put the 1st of January, I want the 1st of January to appear here as well. So the way I can do that, if I hit equals, I need to refer this cell to this cell. So equals, I always start the formula with or equal sign, and then I will refer to this cell. I'm hitting OK. This will give me the same value within the cell because I have referred to this cell. Okay. Now I need to increase this to something like 12, and then maybe I want to justify that and indent to the right a label. Alright, now if I take this and copy it down 2 steps down, let me move the border. Okay. If I copy this down 2 steps, because I need to repeat the row like 3 times for each day, I need to repeat it 3 times, right? So I want the first, and I want the first. The 1st of January, 1st of January, 1st of January. But why it gives me the 1st of January, and then down below it gives me the 6th of January, and yeah, I've seen 0 January. What is that? I want to check this formula out. If I click here and hit the formula bar, you can see that this cell is actually referring to the cell. But now, if I come to the second cell and then hit the control bar, you see that this one now is looking at the second cell below. I don't want it looking at the second cell below, so what I want to do is that I want it referring to the same cell, which is the 1st of January. But yeah, if I click again, click the bar, and you see that it's referring to an empty cell, or cell like 2 steps away from our first date. The second one was like 1 row away from our first date, and this one is 2 rows away from our first date. So this is called cell reference, or relative cells reference. Whenever you put a formula into a cell and you copy that cell downward, the cell that it refers to move according to the way you move that cell. So if I move the cell like two rows down, or one row down, it will move the reference cells one row down, and that's why it gives us 6th of January, because this is relative cell referencing, and we want to make this absolute. And why getting all 0 January 1900 is because I moved this particular reference cell, formula cell, I moved it down like 2 rows down. So now it's moving the reference cells 2 rows down, giving us our empty space. That's why you're seeing the 0 January. So what I want to do is that I will delete this 2 here, and then I just need to update the first formula. And the way I want to do this, if I like this cell, if I click in between C2 right here in the buyer and hit the F4 on the keyboard, it will lock it by placing a dollar sign before the column and before the row. So if I hit enter, it's gonna be the same thing, right? But now, if I move the cells down, you can see that everything is referring to the 1st of January. That is because I locked this cell. I made them absolute. Whenever you make a cell absolute, means that you lock it, right? And absolute cell reference is once you pull the formula into a cell and refer to a cell, if you move that cell down, that reference cell will never move. So if I hit the first one and hit the bar, you can see that it's referring to the 1st of January. And if I come to the second cell, hit the bar, you can see it's referring to now the 1st of January. If I hit the third one, I copy it, you can see that everything is referring to the 1st of January. This is called absolute cell reference. As the formula cells move down, the reference cells does not move. But if the formula cells is copied downward or move, and then the relative cell, the reference cell move along with it, we call that of relative cells reference. Okay, that's the difference between the relative cell reference and then absolute cell reference. Sometimes by default, mostly in Excel by default, Excel will always give you the relative cell reference. You gotta change it up to make it absolute. But again, based on the work you are doing, right? Because some may be correct for absolute and some may be correct for relative. Okay, now we have our first date, and now after 3 rows, repeat that day like 3 times on 3 different rows, right? So after 3 days, the day making it the 4th day, I need to increment the day, the first, I need to increment this date, which is the first, I need to increment to give me the second. Because for each day, I need to add like three customers information. So right after this day, I need to increment this the first to give me the second on 3 rows. Again, I will select this last one, copying it down, because I still want that cell reference, the beginning of the week, which is the 1st of January. I still want that cell reference. But now, on the 4th one I just copied, I want to make an update to the formula. Yeah, I want to increment it by 1, right? Adding plus 1. Okay. If I hit enter, it gives me the 2nd of January. Remember, this is the 1st. If I add 1 to it, it will give me the 2nd. And that's how we increment to get the 2nd of January. Now, but the thing is, let me remove this. The thing here is, what if there's no date here? Then see what happening. See what happens. What do we mean? What do Excel mean by 0 January 1900? Where on earth we have 0 January 1900? So again, Excel will always put this date there because 0 there because there's no date. So again, I need to format this formula. I'll delete this too. And then I need to update this. So I need to put a condition that if this cell is empty, then I want this cell to be empty. So right before that, right after the equal sign, I want to put a condition called if function, and then I want to say if C2, which is our first date, the beginning of our business day, is empty, equals empty, then what I want to do, I want to make the cell in our date field empty as well. Else, just take the value of C2 and place it there if C2 is not empty. And then right after that, at the end, close the parenthesis and hit enter. Now you see that you move that date and then make it empty, right? So now because date is empty, C2 is empty, so our date here become empty. But if I come over here and then put a date there, then we'll place a date here as well. We'll take the same date here and place it here. That's what I want. Now if I take this now and copy it down, or 2 steps down, 2 rows down, this is how it looks. But again, it looks like if I come over here and double click, this second one is actually referring to 2 cells. And just from here you can see, it's referring to C3 and referring to C2. So all I need to do is that I will delete this. I will delete this one. It's the same cell reference I was talking about a few moments ago, and because I copied it down, so it's looking at the cell below. So again, I will come into this first formula, and then right into C2, I will click there. I will hit F4 on the computer to lock that cell as well, and then I will hit enter. Now if I copy the cell down 2 steps, it will not affect anything, it will not move that reference cells. Alright, now we're done with our first formulas, we're done with our second formulas, and now we're done with the first one in our table. Now what I want to do now, this last one, is that I want to copy it down one row down, and then hit this one and increment the date by 1 so that I can get the 2nd of January. So all I need to do now is to, like, right after that C2 there, place the cursor there, and then I want to hit plus 1. This is the 1st of January, this date. If I add 1 to the 1st, it will give me the 2nd. So I'm incrementing that by 1, hit enter. This will give me the 2nd. All I need to do now is just to copy it down, 2 rows down, and you see everything looks good. And then take the last one, copy it down 1 row, and then with the last one you just copy, increment it by 2, because you want a third. So incrementing that by 2, hit OK. This will generate the 3rd of January. Take this one, copy it down 2 rows down, and then with the last one, copy it down 1 row down. Okay, select the one you copy now, and then increment it by 3 in order to get the 4th of January. Increment it by 3 rather, not 4. Okay, now this will give me the 4th of January. Now I need to extend this down 2 rows, and with the last one again, I want to copy it down 1 step, and then with this last one, I want to increment by 4. Increment that by 4 to get the 5th of January. Copying it down 2 rows, and then the last one here, copying it down 1 row and making update to it, the last one here, incrementing this by 5 to get the 6th of January, and then I will just copy it down 2 rows. Okay, now we are done. Now we are done with our entire week from the 1st to the 6th, and I repeat that each day 3 times, right? Each day 3 times. The 1st of January, 1st of January, 1st of January. I'm repeating it 3 times. The 2nd of January, 2nd of January. And the reason I do this because for each day, I need to like add in 3 customers information, right? I add in Roland information, Mary information, and James information. 3 sales agent information for each day. That's why I use the day 3 times on different rows. The same day 3 times on different rows. Alright, now you get a concept. We can now move over to our sales agent formulas. Now with our sales agent formulas, what I want to do is that I want to refer again a reference. Take this cell and refer it to this cell. Our first customer, our first sales agent. So I will click here and hit equal and refer it to our first sales agent, and then hit OK. Now I want to make this 12. Hit OK, and then I want to copy it down. Move that border. Okay, copying it down 2 rows down, and then this will generate the next person, right? If I copy it down, if I copy this formula cell down, it also moves the reference cell down. For this example, it was perfect, right? For this situation, it was perfect because I didn't get Mary and Jim after I moved the cell down. Alright, so it moved the reference cell down 2 steps. That's what I want. But then, what if there's no sales agent here? What if there's no sales agent? What's gonna happen? It's gonna put a 0 as if this field is a normal field. So again, I need to update this formula. I'll come here, I'll just remove this one, these 2, and I need to update this formula. I'll say if using the if function, if F3 is this rolling, our sales agent rolling, and then if F3 equals empty, what I want to do is that I want to make this cell right here empty. So double quote, comma, and right after everything else, I want to take the value, assuming that F3 is not empty, then I want to take the value within F3 and then place it right in here. So this formula is going to work perfect for us. Now I can close that parenthesis and hit enter. Now, if I go over here and then remove rolling, it will also make the cell empty without placing a 0. If I come back and place that back, we'll take the value within this cell and place it here. That's what I want. And then what I need to do now is to copy it downward, 2 steps, 2 rows down, and you can see everything looks good. If I now move all this sales agent, everything goes wrong. And then I can pull it back out. Now, but I need to repeat this sales agent like 2 hours a week for each day, right? Two hours a week each day. So I need to come down 3 steps for the second. I copy this down, but why it's not showing? Let me take a look at this cell. If I click, you can see that I'm looking at enter cell. And look at this enter cell. That's why it's not showing here in this field. This is called ready to cell reference. If you move a cell down without locking the cell, it will move the reference cell down. So we need to lock this cell. So over here, I need to lock F3. I'll hit the very first person here, which is Roland. I need to make an update to it. Over to the formula bar, I'll hit F3 right between there and hit F4 on the keyboard to lock that particular cell. And then F3 on the side, I will hit F4 to lock it. And then I will hit enter. Now if I move the cell, the reference cell will never move. I need to do the same thing for Mary. Click in F4, and on the keyboard I hit F4 to lock it. And then I'll hit the second one here, hit F4 to lock it, hit enter. And for James, I'll do the same thing to lock the cell reference, hit F4, place the cursor in F5, hit F4 on the keyboard, hit enter. Now if I take this particular cell, I will select all 3 of them. If I copy this down like 3 rows for our second day, now you can see that it's referring, Roland here is referring, Roland on the first day is referring to Roland in the cell. Roland in the second day is referring to the same Roland in the cell. And the same thing applies for Mary. The first day is looking at Mary field, and then the second day is also looking at Mary field. So this is called absolute cell reference. As I move the cell down, the reference cell does not move. So now all I need to do now is to take, and this happened on the first, right? On 1st of January, I need to take the 3 customer information. I need to record 3 customer or sales agent information. So that's why I use the same day 3 times on different rows. And here you can see the 2nd of January, I need to insert, or I need to record 3 sales agent information as well. So now all I need to do now, grab these 3 sales agent and then fill the entire week. Okay, fill the entire table, dragging it down. Perfect. Now if I come over here and remove these 3 sales agent, everything got wrong. I'm gonna place it back and everything there. Alright, now let's come over to our next formula, which is to generate the branch automatically. And for this one, the sales agent, because it is sales reference, I can come over here and just change anything I want to change, and it will reflect here on the table because this is referring to a sale here. So now maybe I want to change Roland. Let me come first and I will make this column like, I'll increase the size to 12. Okay, perfect. Let's say I want to change Roland, right? I want to put something like Jacob. I put Jacob. Now you're going to watch the table. This is called cell reference, right? I'm referring to the cells. So any change I make here is going to reflect onto our table, into our table. So you're going to watch Roland P, you're going to watch Roland P, it's going to be replaced by Jacob. So hit enter, you see Roland now is replaced by Jacob. That's why I love the LCL references. Alright, now good. Let's come over to our branch. We want to generate the branch automatically. Again, we want to refer, right? We want to refer to this people. So all I need to do is, this is going to be the same formula, so I will copy this. It's the same formula, just to save time. I will drag it over to the right, one column, and then release it. Because I have locked these cells, so everything will look up to this column, F column. But now this is the date field. So what I want to do is that I don't want F column. This is looking at F column, but I don't want F column, right? I want the H column, the data within the H column right here. So I want to refer to the H column right here, but this is looking at the F column. I need to, for now, it's a branch, so I need to look at the H column. So now how can I go about doing this? It's just simple, or I can just come here and just remove this one. I just want the 3 sales agents. And here the first one, where I see F in the formula here, I'm just going to replace that with H because now our data won't come from H. So now replacing F with H, hit enter. Now you can see, now you remove Roland and then place Pinsville because Pinsville is in the H column, right? The H column. So now coming here again, doing the same thing, removing F and replacing with H. Replacing that with H, hit enter, and then place Mary branch, which is the Broadway. Yeah, Broadway. And then for the last person, I need to do the same thing, replace F with H, and here replacing F with H, hit enter. And now we have the branches for each of the sales agent. We have the branches. Same thing here. Okay, now we are good. I can now take the copy this, select the tree, and then send it down. Copying it down to our table. Alright. Now we have Painsville, Brevet, and voila. Painsville, Brevet, and voila for each day. Painsville, Brevet, and voila. We get information from those branches. Okay, now good. But what if I like delete this? Then we're gonna move everything. If I place it back, I'm gonna place everything back. If I want to change this branch as well, like date for the sales agent, I can easily come here and then change this from here. Let's see. This time it's gonna be single branch. If I hit enter, you see now Painsville is being replaced by single. So everything is automated. So now you can see that it's doing everything automatically. So you're not going to change anything here because everything within the table here is actually a formula and not just entering data manually. So everything here is based on formula. So I want to replace back our Painsville and then we are good. The next one gonna be the product. And yeah, I'll place the product because the product is actually coming from here. So I'll place it. Let's see the product the company is trading in. For example, I'll go with Samsung, and to specify that, let me go to Samsung. Control Enter, I'll make this something software. Okay, and then okay, I want to indent to the right. Okay, perfect. Now I have the product of that company. The company is marketing, right? Now I'm done with that. Now to the product section, I need to put a formula. It's gonna be the same cell reference. So all I need to do now is to say, hey, this cell is equal to, I'm referencing a cell here to the cell. Whatsoever should be in the cell should come from this cell. That's all I'm trying to say. So hitting enter, this will give me some phone. So again, I'm gonna insert that. Alright, now perfect. Now we have Samsung phone. If I take this and copy it down, this gives me 000 and give me something that still running. What's that? So again, because I've not locked the cell, so it gives me a relative cell reference. I'm moving the cell down and then looking at this other cell, it bringing the cell reference to the other cell. As I move the cell down, it brings the cell reference to the next cell. As I move the cells down, it moves the sales reference to the next cell. Until come here to sales agent, as you can see here, if you reach here, it put in sales agent, and reach here, it put in all this data. I don't need that. So I'll delete everything from here. Again, deleting it because that is relative cell reference. So I'll need to make this absolute cell reference. So come here, I just need to lock the F5. So if I hit F5, right between F5 there, and hit F4, hit enter. Now I'm good. Now if I come here and copy this downward, you can see that everything is referring now to the product because I've locked this field, the reference cell. Okay, perfect. But what if there's no data here? I delete everything. This how it's gonna look. Putting a dash, putting a 0. So I need to delete everything from here again. Beginning from the second one, I'll delete everything. And the first one, I'll select it and make an update to it. So what I will do here is that I need to put a condition that if, in a condition, right after the equal sign, we put a condition if CFA, what is CFA? CFA is the product field, right here. If CFA is empty, equal empty, then what I want to do, I want to make this cell empty. I don't want a dash or 0. I just want to make this empty. So I'm making that empty with a double quote and then comma. What if it is not empty? This cell is not empty. Then I want to take the value in the cell and place it here. That's what I want to do. And then at the end, I want to close the parenthesis and hit enter. Now because this cell is empty, it removes the 0 and that dash and make the cell empty as well. So now this is called isolated cell references. So if I take this one now, copying it down, this will also give me a relative cell reference. You can check this up and see what it is. So if I come here, you can see that looking at this field, each of these cell reference. If I come over here again, double click, it's looking at rolling. So I need to come to the second one here, drag it down, and delete that. And then with the first formula here, I need to make an update. What we are saying is that I need to lock CFA. CFA is not absolute, it's relative for now. As you can see, no data between the columns and the row. So if I hit F4 on the keyboard, now it made that absolute, meaning it locked the cell, the reference cells. Now hitting enter, if I copy this down now, it's gonna be perfect. Alright, now good. But if I come here and put in the phone, the company is trading this time, let's go with Techno phone. I hit enter, now you see everything looks perfect. If I come back and remove Techno phone, let's activate it, everything goes okay, perfect. Now we're done with these 3 fields, these 4 fields. The next one gonna be quantity. Quantity, I'm not gonna use formulas, right? Because for each day, what happens is that quantity gonna change. For each day, I need to put in a quantity manually. So I don't know what quantity Roland gonna sell that day. I don't know what quantity Mary gonna sell that day. I don't know what quantity Jane gonna sell that day. So this gonna be manually typing. Enter. Alright, now I'm not gonna use anything here. The only area I'm jump to is the price. Okay, the price right here, the price. I need to come out with the price. Maybe I will create a size or something. Okay. So what formula will I use here? I'm gonna use the same formula I use for this product. Okay, so I will copy just this first one. I'll copy it, coming over here to the price. I'll press the Ctrl V to paste it. Now I'm looking at this cell here called Technophone, right? Referring to the cell, but I want to refer to the cell, which is the price. Let me put in the price. For example, let's say the company is selling that phone for $250, and maybe I can make this as 12. All right, and then maybe I want to put this in a currency. Pick yourself, come down currency. Yeah, okay. Then left justify, and then right. Okay, perfect. I want this particular cell to refer to this cell and not this cell. Now it's referring to Technophone, right, to this cell, but I want it referring to this cell, this particular cell, right here. So what I'll do, I'll click in the cell, and this cell is actually C6, right? So if I click in the cell, where I see C5, I'm going to replace it with C6, right? Now I'm seeing 5 here. I'll replace that 5 with 6, and then here I'm seeing 5 again. I'm going to replace that with 6. Okay, it pulls that price. Now it's referring to cell C6. Now I need to format this with this dollar sign, hit that dollar sign, and then replace that into a counting format. Perfect. Now get that, I can just copy this downward. Alright. Now if I remove the date, the price rather, it's gonna remove everything, put it back. Maybe I want to change the price. Maybe the company want to give a discount this time around, and maybe they are dropping the price to 200. If I hit enter, the price also gonna change throughout our table. Let me go back and place it back to 250 for now. Okay. Placing everything back. And the next formula gonna be for total amount. The total amount. And what I want to do is that I want to sum the quantity times the price, right? Take the quantity and sum it by the price. So yeah, let me go first and start putting in our quantity. I'll just step this manually because each day this sales agent will come back and make a report. And then I need to enter that report manually how many quantity is sold. Alright, then I need to remove that last one. Okay, perfect. And then select this entire column, format that numbers again. So first I want to make it 12, start 12. Then I'll place it in the middle. Okay, perfect. And then maybe the class of this column is 2. Why I can draw that a bit. Okay, something like that. Alright, perfect. Now all I need to do now for this field is to take this quantity and times it by the price. Times it by the price. That's all I want to do. So I want to say equals the quantity times the price. Hit enter. Now I give all 1,250. If it times 5 times 250, it's going to give 1,250. Alright, now I want to give it size of 12. Hit OK. Alright, now if I take this cell now and copy it downward throughout our week to fill our table, everything gonna be referring to a cell. You're gonna move that reference cells as the cells copy down. And this is what I want. This is what I want, right? This is what I want. I want when I move the cell down, I want it referring to the next person, right? The next person. I want that cell reference referring to the next person. If I move this down, I want it referring to this person. So for relative cell reference, it works perfectly for this situation, right? But for this situation here, it does not work perfectly for us. That's why we use absolute on we use absolute cell reference there, we use absolute cell reference there. We also use absolute cell reference there, but for this we want the cell reference to move. But for this one, then the cell reference is not moving, right? So for this field, absolute cell references, yeah, works perfect for us, right? Alright, now we go to our entire formula for the table. But what if there's no quantity? If I move this quantity, then you're gonna put a dollar sign and a dash here. I don't want this showing or if there's no quantity. I just want it blended this. So what I want to do is that, let me click this back. What I want to do is that I will click in this formula, the first formula, and I will make an update with a condition, right? Right after the equal sign, I will put if tab if there's no quantity, I'll select the first quantity. If there's no quantity, I'll use equals empty. If F12 equals 20 empty, what I want to do is that I want to make this cell here, this particular cell empty as well, so empty. Else, assuming that F12 there's a quantity here, and I want to times the quantity times the price. Right after that, I need to close the parenthesis and hit enter. Let me go and check that formula. Okay, I use point here. It shouldn't be point, it should be comma. Alright, hit enter. Now you can see that it removed that dollar sign and that dash. Okay, that's what I want. Now I can take this formula and copy it down for the rest of our other fields. Alright, perfect. Now if I come here and remove all the quantity, then everything here in our total amount is going to be removed. Let me place it back. Place the back. Okay, perfect. Now let me go and double click. I will double click on the zoom button here. Double click. And I want to zoom by 80. Let me go by 80. Hit enter. 80 is I want other data showing up, so I'll go with double click again. I will go with 77. Okay, perfect. Now I can see all of the data. Now we are done with all our formatting, all our formulas for our tables, right? The next formula we're gonna use now, this is gonna be simple one, is for the fields. I need to know how many total products that are sold, right, for this week. So I'll hit in the cell and I'll hit equals. I want to use this function called sum. I want to sum the total quantity throughout the day, throughout the week that was sold for each day. I want to sum them up, and then I'm closing that parenthesis and hit enter. Now if I sum all of these, it will give me something like 76. Alright, now I'm good for that one, and then maybe I can increase the size to something 13. Alright, we have 76 products sold that day for this week. And then for this one, the total sales amount, I want to use the same function equals sum. The sum function, and then I want to select the entire total amount for each day throughout the week, right? I want to sum everything, close that parenthesis, and hit enter. This will give out a sum of 19,000. And yet, if you sum everything here, all the total here, it will give out something like $19,000. Again, making the size of this 13. Alright. Now we are good with our table formulas and our total product formula and our total sales amount formula. Let's move over to the last formula here. And this is going to be the individual sales sum, right? And here for the first one, I want to use the function called sum if. If I tell the function, Excel will ask me, what's the range are you looking at? For our case, we want to look at our sales agent range. I want to check in this list. But again, I need to like this range because this is reference, right? I need to like it because when I copy this cell down, I don't want this to move down. So I need to like it, hit F4 on the keyboard, that will like it with a dollar sign. And then next thing Excel is going to ask me after I place a comma, Excel is going to ask me, yes, you show us a list that we should look in, a range that we should look in. But what are we looking at? What are we looking for in this range? Then I want to say, look for rolling. I'll tap on rolling. Again, because if I move this cell down, I want this cell to move down to the next person. So I'm not going to like the cell F4. I want to use relative sales reference. So I'll leave it just like that, as relative cell reference. Hit command. I'm telling Excel now, check in this range, look for rolling. Now with the next argument here, Excel will ask me, yes, I check in the range, I look for rolling. What do you want me to do? I'll say, hey, then look for rolling total among the range here, among the list. In this range, look for all rolling totals for each day. So what this formula gonna do is that he's gonna look into this column, into this field, check for rolling, come over here and get his total, sum it, come for the next day, look for rolling, get his total, sum it. It will look for rolling throughout each day and get his total from among this list and then sum it. It will sum everything and then give it total. That's the summary. That's his individual sales for the week. Again, I need to like this cell with F4 because I don't want this range moving down as I copy the cells down. Again, I need to close that parenthesis and hit enter. Now you see that the total sales rolling made for this week is 7,500. I need to format this as currency as accounting, so I will hit this dollar sign and you see format it in your money value. So So now I need to increase the size to something like 4. Okay. Now to prove us right, I'll come over to the cell here, maybe the cell, and then I'll hit equals, right? Just to prove that this formula works perfect for us. I'll come and look for rolling. This is the first information, it's first total amount made for that day. I will say plus. After 2 rows, we have rolling information, right? After 2 rows, so I will hit this one, I'll hit plus, jump, skipping 2 rows, hit this one, hit plus, skipping 2 rows, hit this, plus, 2 rows, plus, 2 rows, plus. Okay, now some for the 6 days of the week, I have summed all of rolling total, right? Collected all of rolling total for the 6 days, and then I'm hitting enter, right? Hit enter. Now you can see that it corresponds with this formula amount, right? This formula result correspond with what we did manually. So now you can see that we are perfectly okay. The formula did well for us. It's perfectly okay. Now I'm gonna delete this just for example anyway. Okay, now we're done with all our formula. All I need to do for this one now, I need to copy it down, or I need to copy the sales for the rest of the other 2 sales agents to get a total sales amount and everything perfect. Alright, now we're done with our part 2, which is formulas, which is working with formulas. Our part 1 was the designing aspect, and now our part 2 was our formula aspect, which of course we done perfectly, and everything here now is automatic. Now if I come over here and remove the date from here, and leave this with a default date. If I come over to the customer field and remove the all of the sales agent rather, and everything got removed from our table. If I come here to the branch, remove everything, the branch get removed into the product. If I come here, remove it, the product got removed. If I come to sales, the price rather, remove it, price got removed, and only the quantity is manually typed in, no formulas. So because I need to enter in different FQ for each day, the FQ gonna change, right? Alright, now I'm gonna do all of that. Okay, perfect. Now everything about our table now is automatic. Alright, now let's move over to our next step, which is the conditional formatting. Okay, so with this here step, we're gonna use conditional formatting. So again, I need to select the area that I want to apply that conditional formatting. For our case, we want to select our table. So I'll select our table where I want to create or apply that conditional formatting. And over to home, I'll come over to conditional formatting. To the option that says new rules, I'll select that. And I want to base it on formula. And within this box, I want to use a formula called mods. So equals mod. I'm looking for rows, so I'm placing row. Open and close parenthesis, comma. I'm using 2 for every 2 rows. Close that parenthesis equals 0. This will give us an even row. It will check in the table here and look for all the even rows. When this equals 0, it will look for even rows. So I want to apply a format. With the fill, I want to select this very light gray for all our even rows. So I'm selecting this very light gray here, something like this, and I'm hitting OK and hitting OK. Now you can see for every even row of our table, we see a very light gray. Okay, again, I want to select the entire column, the entire table, back into conditional formatting, new rules. I want to apply based on formula, and then with the same function of formula, mods. And I'm looking for row. Open and close parenthesis, command 2 for every 2 rows. I need to check for odd row, which is 1. So I'm looking for the first row of every 2 rows, and this will be the odd row. So now I want to apply a formula or format, but for this time I'm not going to use this very light. I want to go something a little darker than it. So something like this. I want to use this one. Hit OK, and then hit OK. Now you can see for every odd rows of our table, I think that I will very with a gray color that is darker than the even row color. Alright, now done with our first conditional formatting. Let's move over to our second conditional formatting. What if there's no price here? Then we'll get errors today, right? Errors. So I will select this, all of this field back in the condition format in new rules. But for this time, I'm not going to use formula. I want to use formats on the cell that contains. Pick that option and come down from the drop down. I want to see the errors. I'm looking for errors, every cell that contains error. I want to format it. But this time around to the font, I want to give you a color, a font color that is light gray, and hit OK. Hit OK. Now you can see it had that errors. Another one here is this field. We have errors here again. So back in the condition formatting, new rules. I'm looking for cell that contains. To the drop down here, I want to select errors, and then I want to format it. To the font, I want to change the color because the background is white. So if I select a white font, it will have that errors. Hitting OK and hit OK. Now it had the errors. Okay, now if I come back and place in the press, now it places everything back. If I come and remove that press, it remove everything and had that error, those errors. Okay, now we are good with our conditional formatting, which is the step 3 of our weekly sales report template creation. Let's move over to our step 4, which is our protecting and unprotecting of sheets. Okay, with our step 4, which is the protecting and unprotecting of sheets, what I want to do first is that I want to protect certain field and then unprotect certain field. For this field here, we have formulas, so I need to protect them. Okay, I don't want people entering information here manually because everything here is based on formula. If you type anything here manually, it's going to remove that formula and place what you have put in manually. I will undo that. So what I will do, I want to protect this area that has format or formula. In fact, I want to protect the entire sheet. I don't want anyone making updates to this particular sheet. The only access I want, the only ability I want the user to have is the ability to change field in this field and in this field. Yeah, to change the customer or the sales agent, to change the branch and the beginning of the week, and maybe the company want to change their product and then the price. So these are the only field I want to unprotect, giving the user the ability to make a change to them. For the rest of the other one, in fact the entire sheet, I want to protect it. So once I select the area that I want the user to have access to, I can come over to home and to the format. I want to come to the option there that says lock cell. I'll select that and then click all of it, and then come back to the same format and come to the option this time around, protect sheet. And if you want to give a sheet a password, a protection, a password, you can go ahead. But for now, I think like this and then hit OK. Alright, now we are done. If I come here to any of these cells here and type anything, it will tell me, say, hey, this sheet is protected. Only these fields I can make change to. Because for each day, I need to like enter the sales quantity of each of our sales agent. So yeah, if I type in anything, you can see that we have access to it. I'll undo that. And over here again, I can change any sales agent. Let's say Lawrence. And yeah, you're gonna change in the table here. Again, I will undo that. Again, I can also have access the ability to change the branch. Let's say single. And you're gonna change in the list here too. I will undo that again. And yeah, I can change the date, but I cannot change the end of the date because this is based on formulas. So I can change the beginning of the date. Maybe I can pull this date. And once I change that, it's gonna change everything in the table here, and it's gonna change everything here. I will undo that. And now I can also change the product that the company is trading. Maybe I want to go something like Samsung phone. When I hit enter, it changed all the product in our data here with Samsung. Again, maybe the company want to change the price. I hit 150. I'll hit enter. It's gonna change the price in the table. But I cannot come into the table and type anything manually because the entire table is protected except for our quantity field. So again, I want to undo that. put that first, put back that first. And you can see everything here now is protected except for this field where we're going to enter in information manually, and this field and this round the branch and the beginning of the week and these two cells. Okay, now we have completed our step 4, which is protecting and unprotecting sheets. All right, now we are done. Let's move over to our step 5, which is the print setup. For the last step, which is the print setup, what I want to do first, I want to hit Control P to take me to the print preview, or I can use Control F2 to take me there. Or if I don't want to use computer or the keyboard shortcut, I can come over to the option for 5, that button right up there. When I click that and hit print, to the option called print, if I hit on print, it's going to take me to our preview. But now looking at things, this does not look good. Okay, I don't need this field, this date, I don't need this product, I don't need the price, right? And I don't look at our data are not even properly showing. But now I have 2 pages here for this. Right now, if I click the second one here, you're gonna see the second piece of our work. So everything not fitting on our first page. So one way we can fix this is by going back to the sheet, and then if I select the range I want to use to print, maybe I only want to print this range. So I will select this range. I will come on the page layout, and I will come to the page setup, and to the option called print area, I will set the print area. Now it set that print area this range. Now what I want to do is that if I hit Control plus P, you can see that I have to solve the problems a bit by removing those dates, the product, and everything above that. But our data it's not still showing here. Our data are not showing properly here. So, and you can see here the next page here we have the remaining page of our data. So what I want to do is that another way to solve this problem, you can come over to this option called portrait orientation. When you hit on that, it will give you 2 options. One is for landscape and the other one for portrait. So by selecting landscape, it can help solve the problem. So if I hit landscape, you know what? Okay, just by hitting on landscape, selecting landscape, it helps solve some of our problems by adding additional fields. If I come back to our second page here, you can see we just left with 1 field. So back again to our first page. Another way we can solve this problem is when we come over to the page setup, or some people use scaling, right? If I come over to scaling and to the option that say page sheet on 1 page, if I select that, it can solve our problem. Now you see that we don't have 2 pages again. It fits all our pages just on 1 single page. This helps solve the problem. But again, the reason I don't like using or scaling is because when I have a table in my work, it will remove some of that border from our table. So again, as you can see here, we have a border here and remove some of the border. So if you have border in your work, you will not want to use scaling. So I'm going back to no scaling. Okay, now it fits it back away in the same condition by leaving out one field. So what I would love to do is that to solve this problem, one way we can go about doing this is to come over to the page setup. When I hit that, it's gonna bring me over to a window like this. All I'm gonna do, the margin, come over to the area that says margin, and as you can see, we have some margin here. These fields are wide. Just by reducing the margin of the left side and the right side can help solve the problem. So let's go, I'll go with 0. For the left side, I'll go with 0.5, and for the right side, I'll go with something like 0.5, and let's see how it looks. Click OK. Now you can see that it adjusts the fields, but still we have our piece of data on the next page. Now you can see it adjusts it. We just need to do few changes to get us started to make our work look good. Again, you can go back if you don't want a margin, you don't want any space, then you can go back to margin, and you can reduce it to 0 or whatever. By reducing it to 0, remember there will be no space between here. It will help solve the problem, but there will be no space. If I hit OK, now you can see it solved the problem, but the spacing here is there's no spacing at all, and the spacing on the right is very little. So again, I will go back. I'll name a spacing. So to the margin, I'll come to margin and just name the goal with 0.5 for both sides and hit OK. That's all way I can fix this up. Alright, now the next way I want to solve this problem is by going back into the sheet, just by reducing the column width. If the date column is wide enough, I want to reduce this a little bit. Just by reducing the column width, maybe this one too is very wild. So just by reducing column width can help solve the problem. Again, I'm going back to the file and then to the option called print. Selecting print, and you can see now it solved our problem. But while reducing the width of these fields, right? So now you see our problem is solved. But I can see that the spacing is still little, but no problem. I can go back and increase the margin on both sides. The margin, I can come to the margin, and maybe I will carry one on the left and then one on the right. Okay. Okay, perfect. Now the next thing I want to do is to go back in the sheet again and then reduce some of the width, the column width. Maybe this one, and maybe this one. And you can see a sample here. You see one piece is out, right? You see the line right here, that's that long, and you see this piece is out. So by reducing the width of this column, can help solve the problem. So the date field, maybe I'll come over here and I'll reduce it a bit. And you can see now it includes all of our data, and now we are good. If I hit that, go back to file and then the print, and you see our work look perfect. Now we go to our print setup, but then we need to add some field changes. So field changes. So below here I want a photos, right? So again, to the page setup, I will need to go to halos and photos, and then come to custom photos. And here we have section. We have the left section, which is this area. We have the center section, which is this area. And we have the right section, which is this corner. So here again, for the left section, I want to put in width 1. I will put in width 1. And then for the center section, which is right here, I want to put the sheet name. And not just that, I need to give a space, a dash, a space, and then I want the date we are printing it out. So I hit that calendar, I place that date we are printing this work, and then over to the right section, this field, I want to put in something like, I'll put in marketing, the marketing department. Okay, marketing department, and right below that, I want to put in supervisor. Alright, now we're good. I hit OK. You see I lost, and then hit OK. And now at the bottom here, it will place those photos right here. We have one sales report, and we have the date we are printing here, and then I'm coming from the marketing department and from the supervisor. Again, this is not formatted properly, so maybe it's very small. I need to make this bold and bigger. So I come back to the page setup, and come to halos and photos. And to photos, I need to select the first one here, come over the format, and then I want to go with HP simplify, or I can just go with this one and then make this one like bold italics, and increase the size to something 4, and then hit OK. And then come to the next one, do the same thing, format, make this bold italics, 12 in size, hit OK. And for this one, the same thing, marketing department, format, italics bold, and 12, hit OK. And for supervisor, the same thing, format, bold italics, and then 12, hit OK, hit OK, OK, and hit OK. Now you can see how it looks. Okay, now you can see how it looks here. And then maybe I want to change the color. And then again, I want to go to page setup, into headers and photos. I want to go to custom, and I will select this one, go to format, and then I come to the color here and see that a color, maybe this one, and OK. And then this one, this field, I will select it again, to the format, I want to change the color to this one, hit OK. And then our marketing department, selecting it, coming to the format, I want to come to the color and change it, use this color, and hit OK. And then our supervisor here, selecting it, go to the format, to the color I want to use this time, this deep blue, and hit OK. Hit OK. Now We hit OK. You can see that it changed our color automatically. And this is week 1 sales report from the marketing department supervisor. Okay, now, well, it seems like the format not properly okay again to me. The week I need to change the font of this test. So again, back to page setup, headers and footers, and come into custom. And for this one, I will select it, down to the format. And this time I want to use HP Simplify this one and hit OK. And for this one, I will use the same thing, the same font style. Okay, yeah, HP Simplify, and then hit OK. Alright, and for this one too, I will use HP Simplify and hit OK. And for the supervisor, gonna be the same style, format, HP Simplify, hit OK. Now hit OK, and we can see. Alright, perfect. That's how I want it to be. Now that we have done with our page setup, next thing I want to do is now to print. So if you come over to the left, you're gonna see the option here. From the drop down, you're gonna select a printer if you have connected printer. But for me, I don't have any printer connected, so I'm going to print this to a PDF, not PDF. So I'll select a printer or the PDF, and then I will hit print. Now it's printing. Alright, because I've now selected printer and I select PDF, so bring me over to this window to give it a file name. So for the file name I want to use, I will use week 1 sales report. Or they'll use week 1 reports. Alright, and then I'm going to save this to my desktop. You can go ahead and save it to any secure folder you want to, but for me, I'm saving it to desktop because I want to easily find it there. So once I'm done, give your name, save it to desktop or the secure folder you want to save it to. Hit save. And now it's printing. Okay, it seems like it's already printed. I'll minimize this window, and now you can see we have something here called week 1 report. But double click this. This will open up our print. Okay, this open our work we have printed. And you can see from the look of things, we have the date here. We have the sales agent, we have the branches, we have the sales they make each day, and then we have the total daily total, and then here we have a summary of the total product sold coming from this column, summing this column, and then the total amount by summing all of the total. And then here we have week 1, and then here we have sales report, the date to print it or making this report, and then coming from the department, the marketing department, from the supervisor. So everything looks perfect. This entire report is now being sent to our management board. So now once I'm done, close this window and back into Excel. Let's say you made the first report, and this time around, the next week, all you need to do is to remove all of the quantity because you're going to start this time from scratch, the new week from scratch. So moving all the quantity, and then since this week ended with on the 13th of January, so Sunday's gonna be that because you're gonna be skipping Sunday, so Sunday's gonna be the 14th, and then Monday gonna be the 15th. So you're gonna start the week on the 15th. So I'm using 15th of January 2023. I hit OK, it automatically generate the 20th, which is the end of our 6 working days or business day. And then you can see everything is starting from 15 to the 20th. And you can see from the 15 to 20. Now everything looks good for our new week now, and then waiting for our data entry. Now this process will repeat every week. Now once we are done with everything, we can now close up our workbook, right? So now when I hit, but first I need to save the workbook. If I come over here to save, or you hit the file and you come to the arrow save as, and then it will bring us to a window of the days. All you need to do is to give it a name. For me, I will go with sales reports. I'll go sales reports worksheet for worksheet. Okay, sales report worksheet, and then I'm saving it to Excel workbook because we're not going to be using code, so we're using Excel workbook, and then saving it to a secure folder you wish to, and then for me I want to save it to my desktop, and then once we are done, hit save. And now we have saved our workbook, and then we can close it out. And then we have our whitebook here called sales reports. Sales report worksheet. Like double click that. Okay, so each day you come, you're gonna double click, you're gonna open this workbook and then make. Okay, here we goes with the workbook. So each day you wanna open this workbook, make the adjustment on each branches every day. Okay, now done. I'm done with the entire weekly sales report. So thank you very much for your patience watching this long video, but very educative, and I hope to see you in my next video next week.